I know it's hard to let it all go and put your guards down. I don't mind going slow, baby, I'll stay around. Cause nothing's holding us back. We'll breath the chances. Alright, what is going on, all of my hopeful romantics? This is your man Gerard Kenneth, and thank you so much for checking out another Why Love segment. This is segment number 2, Breath and Chances. Alright, so straight out the gate, Breath and Chances is a song that I wrote back in 2017. It was actually about a girl that I liked and ended up dating afterward. Y'all gonna look at me sideways when I first say this. I known her since I was married. It was a little bit after I rededicated my life back to God. I met her in 2007, and we ended up being cool from that point on. At that point in time, my ex-wife was like in a whole different state, busting it open for dudes. So, meanwhile, I was like really struggling with staying faithful and stuff. Technically speaking, I'll publicly say this, technically speaking, I did cheat because it was an emotional thing. I did repent and all that good stuff. I stopped being friends with her. Let's fast forward into what happened now and how the song transpired. 6 years later, we came in contact again. I tried to be cool with her. The vibe wasn't there. So I was like, all right, cool. I'll leave you alone. And then maybe like 3 years later after that, her cousin-in-law, she hit me up. She said, hey, yo, you should come to Ebony's party. I know you like to dance. That's my thing. I'm like, all right, cool. So Shorty says, really? The way I interpret really is, really, cousin, you gonna invite this cat? Why would you do that? I'm having thoughts and doubts because I'm like, man, she might be still mad because I stopped being her friend because I didn't actually want to cheat, even though I was emotionally cheating. I didn't actually want to like find myself in a relationship, cheating on my ex-wife, you know what I'm saying, being saved. I declined. I was like, you know what? Hey, you good. I'm just gonna decline. They thinking I'm tripping. Whatever. I ended up writing a song based on that whole thing. I knew for the most part she had issues with her dad, and I knew that she had issues with previous relationships. The following year, we ended up chopping it up. But I felt like she was talking to somebody. And I was like, hey, before we even go any further, whatever you entertaining, you finish entertaining that and then you come holler at me. And so she's like, what you mean? I was like, yo, if you talking to somebody else right now, you deal with that. You finish dealing with that. You know what I mean? Because I'm not finna be sitting there trying to talk to you while you talking to somebody else. Because in my previous video, that's exactly what happened. Come to find out, I was right, because we all go dancing later on, and you know, it was this cat that called himself liking her, and he was already feeling some type of way because he was thinking that her cousin, her little cousin, who I know since he was like a shorty, the dude that likes her thinks that she likes her cousin. I was like, bro, this is a mess. And I was just this random dude. I said, yo, the dude likes you. I understand, like liking somebody and just thinking that you playing games. That's why I told you, if you entertain somebody, you handle that, and I'm gonna go on about my business. She stopped entertaining the cat, but our conversations were a certain way, and she would talk to me a certain way, and I was like, hey, yo, I don't like that. I understand we all have different things about ourselves, but if you're deliberately being disrespectful and somebody's saying, hey, chill out with that, and you keep doing it, that was a red flag. My fault. Sometimes we were having conversations and she actually wanted to talk about sex, as far as like my sexual experiences or what do I like to do. Because I've been married and I lost my virginity at 15 years old. That does not mean that I actually want to commence having a conversation about my sexual experiences and stuff that I do or like to do. That's technically none of your business. And plus I know it's going to lead to stuff. And it led to stuff. We stopped talking for like a couple of months when we were initially just talking and getting to know each other. Well, actually, no, I take it back. It was maybe like a month. Cause I was like, hey, you being disrespectful. I don't like it. Don't worry about the plans that we had going on. We was gonna see each other. I was gonna go to my homeboy's wedding. She was gonna come. She's like, oh, I was gonna do all this. I was like, nah, you being disrespectful. Don't worry about it. It got to a point where she's like, well, why don't you give me a chance and this, that, this, and the third. She's like, that's not fair because what about your other exes? This, that, this, and I'm like, but all right, I'm gonna give you a shot. We actually ended up dating, and so I came down to visit. At that point in time, I was living in Central Texas. I was sitting there chilling, and I actually witnessed her get evicted out of her apartment. Prior to that, we would talk, and she would tell me like some things she had to take care of. I was teaching at the time. I was living in the hood, and my rent was like $475, so I had a couple extra dollars, and I was like, hey, do you want some money? You know what I'm saying? Kick you a couple dollars? Nah, I'm good. And now I'm like chilling with her for a couple weeks, and she gets evicted, and I gotta like help her move out. Something that my bishop has said before he passed, I'm paraphrasing here, but he basically said, you find out who a person really is once the squeeze is on. You'll see them for their true colors. They'll actually show who they really are when they're under pressure. So overall, we dated for 4 months, and it was like constant arguing all the time. If I said something, she would get triggered. If I mentioned scriptures, she would get triggered. Talk about God, she would get triggered. And I was like, what's wrong with you? Why are you're being freaking weird. Stop being freaking weird. And her argument was, well, you should watch how you respond to me. And I'm like, I'm saying, well, Paul, hold up. Basically, she would just do whatever she wanted to do, say what she wanted to say, and because I would respond like, yo, I don't like that, or can you not do this? She was saying that I need to check the way I respond versus her checking her actions. A1 narcissistic traits. This reminds me of my ex-wife. I don't like it. I mean, she even made jokes about cheating on me. Like, oh yeah, I ought to like go date this other cat or go on a date with this dude. I was like, why would you, how is this funny? Like, that's not funny at all. You're making a joke, but you're not joking. You're throwing jabs in a really disrespectful manner. Personal stuff, and you're throwing jabs. That's not funny. And if I were to do that, you would get mad. Well, why would you do that? Now you being tit for tat. And this is something that I learned dating her. I tolerated a lot of stuff. Shout out to my big sister, Dr. DeAndrea Bowens, and her husband, Minister James Bowens. Guys, check out my Supposed to Be Different podcast, episode 15. We have a conversation, and something that this couple said was make a list of what you won't tolerate. And I made that list, and I realized that I was tolerating a bunch of stuff. Basically, I was being a simp and didn't realize it.
It's gotta be me. I'm not functioning. I'm building on a feng shui. I'm not in alignment. I'm not in your timing, but I'm still trying to run a race. You got
hold up. Don't tolerate something that person won't tolerate from you. Put your foot down. If they gonna sit there and just do what they want to do, bounce. I understand giving people grace, giving people chances. I understand giving people like time to get things right, but if they still ain't trying to get it right, chuck the deuces. We ended up breaking up because pretty much she was just being so brand new that I actually got upset and people saw it. I wasn't throwing a fit, but people can really feel that I was angry because she was being stupid. Got to talk about it, and even then she was being really manipulative. You're making us look bad. Nigga, my bad, y'all. But I was like, bruh, you sitting there doing stuff, and then you're expecting me to be okay with your foolishness. Nah. And there's another thing. She still owes me $100. I know it's petty. I'm gonna let it go. While we were dating, her cousin was going to get married the very next year. Shorty wasn't working anymore, so I'm still teaching. I was setting money aside for the cruise. I didn't trust myself with saving money. I was going to open up a different bank account and put that money there. And so she's like, well, why don't you put your money in this account with me and my sister? It's for my abuela. As long as I don't physically touch it, I'm cool, right? And I thought I could trust her. The cruise was going to come up to like 2 G's. When we broke up, I had like $500 saved up. I used some of it for church, but I had like 400 and some change. I didn't get all of my money back after we broke up because she was like, well, do you want your money back? I'm like, why would I leave my money with you? We broke up. Like, who does that? But she didn't have a job. I can understand that. She called herself trying to sell stuff to me. And I'm like, I just need you to give me my money back. Apparently she used some of my money anyway. Then she was like, yo, are we still cool? Nah, bro, we ain't cool no more. I could care less. A year later, she comes out of nowhere. How you doing? Want to know if you still do graphic design? Yeah, I do it. Sorry, can't help you. Good luck on your endeavors. Leave me alone. I didn't say leave me alone. So Shorty was like, hey, why are you saying that for? You saying that because you don't want to talk to me or because you don't want to make no money? I'm saying that because I don't want to talk to you because it's going to open up a door that we just closed and I don't ever want to talk to you again. Period. So that's something you guys gotta understand. When it comes to breath and chances, we have to be mindful of the choices that we make. Some things may look good, but in reality, if a person isn't healed, it doesn't matter what type of chance you have with that person. If they're not healed from their own past experiences, it's not gonna work out. She had daddy issues, horrible daddy issues, and then she got played by a lot of different dudes. And then come me. So basically, she was observing me and saying, okay, this dude is a really good guy. I know this guy. My family knows this guy. I know he's a really good dude. But here's the other thing. Just because you know somebody can treat you right doesn't mean that you can treat them right. So you need to examine yourself, heal from your past hurts, because somebody can love you correctly and do everything right and you still not love them correctly and you make excuses for it. It's a sad commentary. Just because you want somebody to love you right, fix yourself first. Work on yourself too so you can love them correctly. That's so vitally important. It's so unfair for you to sit there and have all this love showered on you and you can't remotely render it back. That's toxic. And I know people hated that word in 2018 and hated that word in 2019 and hated that word in 2020, but usually it was those narcissistic and toxic people that didn't like that word because somebody was calling them on their caca, and then they were trying to defend it, saying, why are you using that word? I hate that word. That's pride. You need to work on it. But in any case, guys, thank you so much for checking out Why I Love segment. This is segment number 2, Breath and Chances. Of course, this is your man, Gerard Kenneth. And thank you for checking this out. And I'm about to get out of here. Peace and God bless. Deuce.